Hello everybody and welcome back to World of Warships Legends. My name is Spartan Elite 43 and tonight, just a heads up, if you've seen this video before, it's because you went over and watched Tactic Angel's video that we did a collab on. So first of all, thank you for going over there and checking that out. Now, why am I posting something that's already been posted? I don't normally do this, and especially collabs with other people, I don't normally do this. But there's a lot of good moments in this match that I want to talk about that I can help other newer players out. We did a Battleship tips guide a long time ago in the Iowa, and the reason I bring up the Iowa for Battleship tips is, A, I'm always in it, it seems like, right? So that just makes sense. It's easier for me to get videos in this that showcase good positioning / situational awareness and all that good stuff because I'm in it more often than not. So this match is going to be a fun one. I'm with the Hive Hound, by the way, if you haven't noticed. I'm in a division. Doesn't happen very often. He is in the Ashitaka, Japanese battleship. Now, first of all, we're on Neighbors. First thing you got to do on Neighbors is get the heck out of the center in an Iowa. And unfortunately, you've got to give up the broadside of your ship. But notice what I do here. Yes, I'm aiming the shots, but what you don't notice is that I'm actually turning my ship and sailing at an angle away, not giving a full flat broadside. And that kind of saves me from potential citadels. And of course, Nelson takes one shot at me with high explosive, sets me on fire twice. So I have to burn my first damage control right off the bat. But that being said, this Nelson, oh, you lucky dog. You lucky dog. Anyway, so first things first, when you're sailing away towards an area that you want to go to at the beginning of a match, don't sail flat broadside, okay? Don't just turn 90 degrees and go. Sometimes you have to sail a little bit further backwards at any angle whatsoever. The Iowa has fantastic armor as long as it's angled. If you're not giving any, like a flat broadside, it's hard to citadel in Iowa. But if you are giving a flat broadside, there's almost no ship easier to citadel than an Iowa, other than cruisers maybe. But anyway, we're gonna push up. We're getting closer to Hive here. Hive is in a tier 6 battleship, so he's got to be a little bit careful. And also, he has no armor compared to those big guns. He has big guns, but no real armor there. I believe the Ashitaka was the Nagato class. Am I wrong? I forget. Somebody will correct me in the... I always go out there and I say things and then I immediately backtrack because I know nothing as far as like the classes, the ships, and all that stuff. I focus on playing and I try to get the best. I'm a pretty good battleship captain. Most people that fight me in battleships lose. That's just how that goes. There is an Amagi out here. He's angled towards us, which is not a very good shot for us, so we're kind of checking out where this Nelson's going to be. The Nelson has really interesting armor, and by interesting, I mean if I'm shooting 16-inch guns back at him, he's gonna have a bad day, because the armor isn't bad. But versus 16-inch guns, you can go right through the deck armor and citadel the crap out of him right through the bow. It's disgusting. And like, we don't even want to talk about it going broadside. If it goes broadside, it's dead. You'll delete them more often than not. Speaking of which, is he going to poke around the corner? Now you'll see, I'm still not giving like a flat bow tank either here. I'm kind of notice the map. There's nobody in the center that we know of that's going to be able to shoot at us currently. So I'm not worried about getting a flat broadside there, but I don't want to be 100% straight. Oh, hello, Nelson. Wait. Hello, Hipper. What are you doing? Now, I'm not going to lie. I'm a little trolled by this shot here. It's one of those things. We shoot towards the back of his ship and we get no damage whatsoever. We only hit him with one round. We're 7 kilometers from the man. How do we miss that many shots? With a dispersion build Iowa. Dude needs to go play the lottery. Any other day, that's death. But he got lucky. Now, I know it's going to take a minute before things really start getting heated up, but you'll see these guys do not want to fight the Iowa. They're doing a good job of isolating themselves, but I notice I get a good shot over the top of the island here, and you'll see I do that a lot. I'll check and see if, hey, look, torps. It's almost like I saw that coming. Why would a Hipper back out in front, like, just enough to get the back of his ship out? torpedoes, right? It makes sense. So you slow down, you stop, you avoid all of his torps, and then he tries it a second time, and he's just like, don't worry, I got this. And I'm like, you got lucky the first time, and now you're giving more of a side. That should be death. And that was 3 overpins right through the citadel of his ship. What? Now, at this point, he starts running away. And, of course, in true Spartan fashion, as he starts pulling out, he ends up getting absolutely obliterated. Now, notice the Nelson right here is a good, easy hit. So, I'm going to take him over the Amagi at the moment. So, we put the shot out, and, again, easy kill, or easy damage, Citadel shots right through the side of the Nelson, no problem. But watch what I do next. Next, instead of shooting at the Nelson, I'm going to change targets and shoot at the Amagi. Why? To get the more dangerous ship off of the map. The Amagi has good armor up close, so the closer he gets, the harder he is to kill. He also has decent secondaries. It's not German battleship, obviously, but watch, right here, I'm going to switch targets, making sure I switch targets, by the way. And there's the Amagi, and he's broadside on. There's no chance for him there. But now that we've got the Amagi out of there, the Hipper is very close to death, if not already dead. I know he's still alive, technically. But, Hive, why don't you take care of my light work for me, brother? Think you will? Wait for it. Appreciate it, Hive. And now I get to deal with the Nelson. And notice I'm no longer backtracking. I've stopped, and I'm about to go forward. We Citadel the crap out of him again, taking him down to very little damage, or very little health, sorry. And then we start, after he's already fired his guns at us, we can start to angle our ship, turn to get the rear gun involved, and at this point, it's just a matter of time before the rear gun gets into position, and down he goes with another Citadel, giving us our 4th Citadel of the game. Now's where things are going to get interesting. We've mopped up this side of the map. There's a couple people with us, but I'm pretty sure it was just me and Hive that did any of the damage. I don't know what those other guys have been doing so far. But we're going to turn, instead of going all the way around the island, I'm going to go straight back through the middle. That's going to allow me to affect the match on both sides. And you'll see what I mean in a moment. Now notice my rear gun is on the left. I do this on purpose. I make sure that I have the rear gun where I want it to help where I need it. I've got teammates that are headed towards the enemy base. One of them behind me, one of them here directly in front. And we are going to be able to get our front guns and rear guns on any target to our left. And that's also going to allow us to present a good angle towards anybody directly ahead of us. And that's going to come in handy in a little bit. Planning what you're going to do before you do it. What are you doing, Atlanta? Okay. He's a long ways away. He's doing okay. Oh, hello, Jean-Bart. Broadside on to an Iowa, even at 19 kilometers, is not a good place to be. And unfortunately, though, this Jean-Bart's also very lucky. I was just having a bad RNG game in this one. It just wasn't having, says the guy who Citadel'd the crap out of both the Amagi and the Nelson. I know, but still, considering what could have been, there was a lot of bad RNG in this game. But you can't control RNG. All you can do is the best that you can do, and then let RNG, screw you whenever possible. So, again, Jean-Bart is the most dangerous target here, so I'm trying to get him off the board while he's broadside. Because once he goes bow on, there is not a stronger ship in the game. The Iowa is a very close rival, but a Jean-Bart's armor, when it's bow tanking, is disgusting. About the only option that you got is to try and bust his guns, because then they just give up. Jean-Bart's will try to ram you, or they'll just not do anything at that point. But you can see I'm looking at the New Orleans here. I'm like, I gotta try to get this heavy cruiser first, and then we'll focus the Atlanta. Giving a full broadside to the New Orleans. Is my aim true? Wait for it. Really? We were a little bit slow. Needed to lead just a hair more, but now the Atlanta becomes the target because everybody else is so far away. The Atlanta is an annoyance to battleships because it can burn you forever. To destroyers, it's the absolute worst thing you can run into, and there's no like question whatsoever. The Atlanta can deal with multiple destroyers at one time and just come out on top. And all of those overpins against the Atlanta get old. Like, I know you can Citadel him, and usually you Citadel in Atlanta because he decides to angle a little bit. That is the worst thing you can do in an Atlanta. You have destroyer-esque armor, all the guns in the world, and you should be broadside on if you're in a Atlanta versus battleships. It's still kind of iffy whether or not you get Citadeled, but at least you're not guaranteed Citadels. But this time, he makes the wrong move here. He's angled, he's trying to sail away, he comes out past the island just a little bit too much, and down he goes. Between me and, I believe it was the Jean Bart to my left, he had no chance. Now, speaking of Jean Bart, and now to notice the map awareness here. I realize that there's a battleship on my right, and because of that, I am limited in what I can do here. I don't want to push all the way up in, because then I'm giving a flat broadside to somebody. And in the Iowa, a flat broadside gets you killed, period. You do not give a flat broadside in an Iowa ever. Ever. You always want to try to maintain some sort of angle, because the angle will save your life every time. Now, we have two Jean Barts here. One of them is full health and further away. The other one's starting to push up on us at 4 kilometers, and I'm just kind of waiting for him, and he disappears right as he gets to the point where he's going to pull out in front of me, which is annoying. But now the secondaries are going off on the Bismarck, so that's a telltale sign that he's close enough to actually shoot me, right? He can actually get shots, because they don't fire unless they have line of sight, and we take a hit from the Jean Bart, but we deliver one back. Notice 5 bounces. And that was the side of his ship. Now, he's angled at this point, so it is what it is. But I started reversing a long time ago. The reason I want to do this is because I need to keep distance between me and the bad guys. The Iowa is not an up-close kind of ship. The guns don't turn fast enough. It doesn't... It's just you do not want to get into a point-blank kind of struggle in an Iowa, because if they fire at you, and there we purposely shoot at one of his guns, and we do get the knockout. We completely destroyed his rear gun. The front gun's a little bit trickier to destroy. You can destroy it, and you'll see I shoot at it here in a moment, because when he's angled like this, it's actually easier to hit the front gun. And knowing this is huge. Now also, look at where the map is right now. You see on the map where there is another battleship? See right here, he's angled, and that keeps the bow of his ship away, and we're able to knock out his front gun. Even if it's temporary, that resets his reload, and that allows us to get the rear gun on the Jean Bart, because we were paying attention to the map, and we knew he was going to be in a position where we could shoot him with the rear gun, even though we weren't planning, you know, it wasn't what we were initially trying. It was just, okay, it's a target of opportunity, take it. You know, some damage is better than nothing. Now that he's bow tanking us, it's going to be very difficult. And notice he blows up our gun again. And over the nose, you can see the nose of the ship, the bow of the ship kind of sticks up just a little bit. Same on the Iowa. And what that does is it makes it difficult to knock out that front gun from a bow tanking position. So, again, we know that we are able to shoot the Jean Bart with the rear gun, so we go ahead and take that opportunity. And then, unfortunately, we lose our front gun again. We just used our damage control on this, so there's not a whole lot we can do. And since we have a broadside shot at a Jean Bart, we go ahead and take it. Now, I know that there are 2 guys in front of me, but at the moment, the game is so tight that I'm trying to protect our battleship that's in the base. Unfortunately, he's going to sail straight out of the base. He's going to charge right out into the Jean Bart, and there's nothing I can do about that. But the goal was to try to protect the guy in the base so that we can get that lead and maintain it. We get some good damage against him, and the teammate gets some good damage. But now that they're doing what they've got to do, we don't have anybody in the base. It's time to redirect our attention towards the Bismarck, who is finally giving us a good angle. Now, I have Citadeled Bismarcks from this angle before. Their turtleback armor is great, but under that front gun, it's suspect. Unfortunately, just as we get the shot off, he starts to turn towards us. And that probably saved his life, because that would have Citadeled him, But because he turned in, instead of citadeling him, we just get multiple penetrations. Still good damage, but not enough to kill him. And there's only 25 seconds left. I'm only going to get one more shot off. So right about now, you'll see me go from full reverse to stop and go forward again. I've already lost one of my main guns on the front, and we go ahead and take out one of his, and you should see me in a second start to go forward just for the heck of it. But map awareness and angling your ship in the Iowa, you have to. You don't have a choice. If you go broadside to anybody in the Iowa, you're dead. That's just the way that works. You will lose half your health, if not all of it, in one round. You just don't want that. So always maintain some sort of angle to as many ships as possible so that you're not giving up the chance to be citadeled. A lot of people talk about the Iowa and getting citadeled all the time, and I think it's because you're trying to get the rear guns involved all the time, and you really don't always need them. Sometimes they're just there for, a secondary battery, essentially, for those opportunity shots like we had on the Jean Bart there at the end. But keeping a cool head, even though you're being charged by multiple ships, is essential in a battleship. You've got to maintain your focus. You've got to prioritize who's the threat, which is most likely to do the most damage to your team, whether it's you or your teammate. Which is the most likely suspect to absolutely ruining your team. And so with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this. It's not a huge tricks video, but there was a lot I needed to talk about with this that I think that you guys will enjoy. So if you like what I'm doing, punch the like button, leave a comment below, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and as always, I will see you in the next video.